Well, if you're my age, you grew up watching Gunsmoke. James Arness. That guy was involved in the invasion of Anzio, Italy, during World War II. No wonder he had a power and a force behind him, because he was there. What I'm going to show you right now is something that was found at Appomattox Courthouse. That's a small town. It's not really a courthouse, that's just the name of the town. This is a Confederate cavalry sword. It's called the Dog River Saber. It's in perfect shape. And the person who found it worked for the United States Army Corps of Engineers. It was their job to clean up the mess. And the reason it was stashed behind the wall is because the Confederates were told to surrender their weapons. And if they didn't, they were going to get shot. So that's why I had this sword. And it's really hard to say all this stuff, but hey, somebody has to, right? I don't care if you can see me really good. It don't matter. I am just one of many. I'm a speck of dust in the universe. Look at Don Rickles. We all know him as a funny man. But he went through some really tough stuff also. Yeah, this is supposed to be a gold mining show. But to me, the real gold is in the story and the history of the United States. We're not going to do nothing unless we're attacked. The violent gangs from Venezuela or migrants or the cartels, if they attack us, hey, it's on, man. I'm not going to lie. But for right now, remember the movie Patriot? Stay that pistol. Do not pick it up until we're attacked. Do not do anything. That's an order. No kidding. And this is supposed to be a gold mining show. But to me, the real story and the real gold is the story of the United States. Ever since 1775, we all had to do something. And we did. Men before me, our future generations, they're going to do something also. I'm not going to say what. But if we're attacked, we have no other choice. Just like Pearl Harbor. I lost two of my uncles on Iwo Jima. Very tough battle. But those guys did it. It's really hard to talk about, but they did it for us, for all of us. And we're not going to let that go. Can't do it. Look at all the Korean veterans in the Chosin River. They were faced with the ultimate attack from the Chinese. I don't know how many Chinese troops were there, but our guys, they had to face this entire army rushing up on them. And they did it. I mean, think about that. And the Battle of Hue in Vietnam, Afghanistan, Fallujah. I know some of the people that were there at Fallujah. Absolutely, absolutely crazy. Tank drivers, M40 machine gunners. Absolutely crazy. But they did it. Not because they wanted to. I guarantee you that. You know, I'm not going to say too much, but we had our orders to go into apartment complexes, and our orders were not to shoot because our rounds would go through the wall and hurt innocent civilians. But the other thing we had was a machete. That was it. Any of the terrorist attackers, yeah, we jumped on them with machetes. No kidding. It's probably one of the brutalest things I've ever done, but y'all got to hear the story. Don't forget us veterans. You can't forget us. Our sacrifice for all of you. You know, I'm not bragging about nothing. It really hurts me to say this. But if we're faced with another crossing the Delaware to go get the Hessians on Christmas Eve, yeah, it might be possible. Hope not, but think about that. All those men, they had no equipment, they had no warm clothes. Most of them were bare feet. They had rags tied around their shoes, if they had them. Bloody footprints in the snow. I would do it. I don't know about you, but I would. Absolutely. And this is supposed to be a gold mining show, but that's the gold, brother. The story and the history of the United States, that's the real gold. Okay. I have a 35-acre placer mine out here. And the quartz, somebody wants to buy it for semiconductors. It's worth $1 billion. I'm not kidding. How do you process it? Try to process. I, I can't describe it, man. I can't. Just the quartz rocks is worth more than the gold, and it's a rock. Crazy. But I really think that before Donald Trump is going to be sworn in, I really, really think something's going to happen. I think somebody's going to, all these gangs, the cartels, whoever, Chinese military that are already here in the country, they're planning something on. I don't know what, but I could sense it. But we're ready for it. Absolutely. We're going to protect the United States of America. We're not going to let it go down, just like Pearl Harbor and Nazi Germany is not going to take over our way of life. Absolutely not. And I'll show you something right now. This is called the SS Honor Ring. The man who wore it, he was in charge of the Panzer Division in Latvia. Him and his men slaughtered over 30,000 people in 2 days. It's the most evil piece of jewelry I have. And he came back to Stearns County, Minnesota. Because before the World War II happened, Adolf Hitler ordered everybody from German descent to go back to Germany to fight for the war. So this guy did. I'm not going to tell you his name. But he went back to Germany. Einsatzgruppen. Very, very bad person. Totally evil to do that to other people. So the reason I'm saying all this is because I really, really think that our country is going to be attacked again, an internal warfare, and I really don't want to see that happen. Henry Ford. Yeah, that Henry Ford. He got an award from Ribbentrop. And the very first Ford dealership was in St. Cloud, Minnesota. It's called 1040 Ford. It's still there. But there's a great big history of Nazi rule in Minnesota. A lot of the Nazi gold came back as religious artifacts. The Bavarian monks that they ran a place called St. John's Abbey. And have you ever heard of the rat lines? That's how they came back over the mountains of Italy. Man, it's really hard to talk about this. But that's where a lot of them came back to Stearns County, Minnesota, because there was a German conclave, put it that way, werewolves, and they're still there. I'm not going to mention nobody's name, man, because they will come out here and hunt me down. I know that. Absolutely. So I'm not going to say nobody's name. But y'all have to hear this information. Have to. St. Germain, Minnesota. St. Germain is the name of the main line going right through St. Cloud, Minnesota. Tim Welch actually threw me out of the state. Told me never to come back. If I ever come back to Minnesota, they would arrest me on the spot. Absolute true story. I worked with Jesse Ventura. I worked with Aaron Russo on his last movie called Freedom to Fascism. I was a spokesperson for that movie for quite a while. And you don't know who I am. Nobody ever heard of me before, but now you do. Hard story to tell. And why should you care? Because it's the future of the United States that's at stake. Absolutely. We're not going to let this country fall. Nope. Violent gangs in Aurora, Colorado, and everywhere else. Your AK-47s have no conviction. Your bullets have no conviction. You're not going to stop us. I really wish this would be a better program about gold mining, because that's what I really like to do. But I have to tell this information to the entire world. And that's what I'm doing right now. I don't care what it costs me. I don't care. I already got $1 billion, so okay. So what? And you don't know who I am, and that's fine. But you can find my email on my channel. Just look it up. Type me a message if you want to. So I guess that's the end of this program. I hope you like it, and if you don't, okay, well, that's up to you, man. See you later.